Hey Josh, since we haven't had a chance to meet, I figured I would try to give you a quick run through of how this file works, and hopefully then at least should answer any of the kind of short-term questions. And if there's anything else, feel free to reach out. But I figured since you're on-site all day today, and I won't be here later in the day, maybe this would be something to bridge some of the time. So anyways, to give you a quick overview of the file, the Global PO Backlog Movement. So this is a file that we have put out by Analytics, and we normally look into it monthly just to see kind of where we are in the month. And basically what a backlog is when we have a PO that's been issued but not shipped out. So we always are usually measuring this from the original ex-factory date that's been stated onto the PO, and of course there can be updates to that. So when we look into the first tab of this file, basically what's been happening is I've taken this and I have gone to the program concatenation and I've selected XX. So that way we're strictly looking from an XX viewpoint on this global PO backlogs. And what the pivot table below is showing is the backlogs that we have by sourcing region. So that's where you can see in EUS from Turkey, the first box is we have 6,707 units that are backlogged 1 through 7 days from their original ex-factory day. Then if you go to the next, it's a 15 through 21 day, which is 760 units, and so on and so forth until you get to the greater than 2-month category. So that's basically telling you by region what are the units that are backlogged. Then of course it's just a pivot table, so if you actually wanted to see what the PC9 breakdown would be, you can simply throw that into the columns as well. So that can be done just as simple as adding in the product codes here. Okay, then we also have another view. So this is by vendor. So if you look into this one, this will tell you what vendor is causing these delays. So out of Turkey, you can see it's coming out of 2 different vendors based on that first one, which are coming up to our total. And it again has the exact same time delineations on it for when these PO backlogs have happened. And this is always based on the original ex-factory date that was stated on the PO. Then we also have a few additional tabs in here. So they're color coded. So the backlog ones are the light blue. Then when we move into the orange, we have past due. So basically what this is, it's the most current date that we have, even if that date has changed. So if we've made any updates for whatever reason, so say we issued a PO and we can no longer meet the ex-factory deadline for X, Y, or Z reason, then we would issue a delay code on that, and that delay code kind of helps us understand why something could have changed in ex-factory versus what we PO issued ex-factory and why we've had to make an update to that original ex-factory. And on top of that, basically what we are doing is, again, filtered to XX. Then we can see it should be telling us, again, by region, where it's coming in and what the total amounts are for XX. This is only filtered to keep out the no delay. And then again, if we want to look to see what the delay cause would be, we can filter down by the delay code. So if we want to see if it's an internal issue with D6, then we would filter to it, and if it was an internal issue, we would see it pop up there. But most likely it should be here at D8 or D9 or D1 or 2. So there you can see it tells you can start to pivot out what the actual issues are, and if that way you can start to see if it's something on your end, if it's something from resource planning side, or if it's something from the pod team or SSM or the vendor. So basically it helps you get those different levels of visibility going on. Then we also have past due by vendor. So this is the situation where we have it filtered for XX, and then it gives us the breakdown by vendor from tops, bottoms, category, and then again it gives us a time frame that we look into and see how long it's been delayed. Obviously, the most crucial are the ones that are far out. And then again, just another view of everything that's past due. So here, just need to filter to XX, and then again, it's another breakdown with more men's versus women's and tops and bottoms. So trying to give us a different type of product breakdown. Then the final color, which is this light purple, is a movement by sourcing region. So movement by sourcing region is to give us visibility from one plan to another. So this basically shows the movements on POs from one plan versus the other. So that way we know that maybe in the plan that we executed for July, we may have to have an update in August. And then this would be where we would see that change reflected, and would also be indicating to us what the reason is for this delay. So on this one right here, you can see the delay code is D8. So that means it's something with something from a production standpoint that we're working with. So either wrong lead time or an issue from the SSM or vendor. But then here we can look down, we can see by PO, by PC9, and delay code, what's causing it. There can be blanks, that just means it hasn't been updated yet, and that we need to look into seeing why. But majority of them are all covered in terms of what the delay code is and what the reasoning is, and then that helps us understand why we're having these movements. So if we see D8, we know that we haven't been able to hold that X factor and we've shipped it. So then you can see original X factory month on it, and then the updated. So it's been moved out by 1 month based on the D9 code for this first example right here. And then it tells us how many days we work with. And then so we know it's 1 month, but it happens to be between 29 and 35 days. And it's 163 units. So then again, that's exact same logic, which is then filed into here for the next one. So then again, we can look by region where it's coming out of. So this one is Italy and Turkey based. We always just want to make sure we double check the filters to have the right filters on. And basically we try to exclude no change because that will be more complication. Or that means everything's fine, and then here is where the complication if there's a change. So this is where we look into this to try to find additional detail coming through. Then we also have the movement by vendor. So if we want to look by region or by vendor, we can do that, but then we also have it just on a PC9 level and PO level. So that way we can reference quick for looking into what the exact PO is that we want to change. So all in all, the rest are then just data files after this. So all in all, this file is a way that we are able to look into what we PO issued and if there's going to be any delay to that product or PO, we know why and we're tracking that one. So the reason this one is sent out to you guys for XX is try to let you have an understanding about what the delays are that are causing certain things and also give you that level of visibility. So I know sometimes once you let something go from your hands, you may not know, all the complexities that happen from function to function to function. And this is kind of giving you the tail end of it all and saying, down to the final production situation, here's where we're standing at this present moment in time. And these are delay codes, which is giving the kind of background and reasoning of why we would have any delays whatsoever coming on these POs that we've issued. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an understanding about why we are, where I'm sending this one out. It's just to kind of go over, heads up, that way you guys can look in to see if you're, making progress, not making progress, and also where to focus if there's any issues that you guys can manage yourself or, push an additional function to, step their game up if you see something lagging behind them, or at least to have the context of why these different functions are having the issues that they are. So if you have any further questions on this one, Don't hesitate to reach out. I'm more than happy to help. We can also sit down with the file together as well. I just figured I wanted to get you something out since I know you've been trying to get in touch with me, and unfortunately our times just haven't matched up, it seems. So if you have time tomorrow, feel free to shoot me a message or a meeting or give me a call or any other time this week, and we can try to link up and go over it. Otherwise, hope this helped, and have a good one.